Every couple day update, doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. Every couple day update, doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Every Couple Day Update with me, Dr. J. What's happening? Woo, woo. Woo. Couple things before we get started on today's topic. I was on my way into a parking lot that I drive through every morning at the exact same time. I go get my coffee at a Starbucks, and I kind of cut sideways across this parking lot because it's early and there's nobody anywhere. And I park in the exact same spot every morning, and then I go in and get my shit, and I come back out, and then I usually run down to the gym and use the bathroom. So I'm cutting through the parking lot this morning, and then, like, out of nowhere, this lady is just, like, all of a sudden there, and she's fucking beeping. I was like, whoa, like, I think I just cut this lady off because I was driving sideways through the parking lot. I mean, to me, these are suggested guidelines. There's no fucking, there's no street law in a parking lot, you know? You don't have to go through the things. If there's absolutely nobody anywhere, you can just kind of cut across. Well, then this lady came out of another little angled thing, and then I kind of like went across sideways in front of her. Well, then she followed me and then parked right next to me, and I was like, all right. I was like, fuck. I get out right away. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't see you come out of the side. Right away. Instant fucking meltdown. This lady just raged at me, like full-blown fucking rage, just like, great fucking start to my fucking day, you fucking idiot, watch where you're fucking go, you don't go through the fucking park lot fucking sideways, you fucking idiot. And then she stormed off into the mall, and I was like, oh great. Or into the place where I go get my coffee, which is inside of a grocery store, and I think the lady works in the grocery store. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to see this woman again every day of my life. So I don't know what to do. Am I supposed to go like buy a card and put it on her window and be like, I'm sorry, I drove sideways? Like, fuck, I don't know, man. What do I do? Second thing on the menu, woo! It's gone now, but when I started this video, there was some noise up on the roof. Some boop, 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 boop. There was a seagull outside in the parking lot, and I have a little bag of nuts that I use to feed the squirrels and I feed the birds, and I just keep this bag in the dry storage. So I saw this seagull on the ground. I was like, oh, look, I'll feed this little guy a little handful. So I threw him a little handful, whoosh, gobbled those up right away, and then he started hopping around the window, looking at me at the window, like, making noise, squawking, and I was like, sorry, buddy, like, that's it. Only one handful per animal. I'm not trying to give you the whole bag here. You gotta spread this out for some other squirrels and mice and shit. And then the bird hopped up on my roof and started like pecking. He's getting aggressive and angry because I'm not feeding him any more nuts. And he's like pecking on my windshield. He's up on the roof and he's pecking, and his head is coming down, and he's looking at me right up here through like the blue tint in the windshield, and this bird is just up there for like 20 minutes pecking at me, and everyone who walks by on the street is like looking up at the bird, looking in at me. I'm just like, So I don't know, it's a more positive note than the fucking traffic rage around this place. Yeah, the reason for this video, man, is because of getting smoked out. I got smoked out. Right here in this tiny little space, I could not see this far in front of me. That's how thick the smoke was in here. And we're not talking about delicious weed smoke. We're talking about fucking burning wax. Now, how does burning wax fill up the entire van so that you can't see a foot in front of you? Here's how. Y'all remember seeing this in some of my videos before, this little clay pot heater. So it's a pot inside of a pot. I have a spike and nuts and bolts and washers to space and hold it all together. And there was this thing on the bottom, it's just the bottom of the clay pot. But I had it set like this so that it would sit nicely. And then I had this spike going through, and these were all kind of holding this in place as if it was like a little platform. And then that was like on top, but just, you know, just down a little bit further. If you go back a few videos, I think I've showed this thing a few times. Anywho, so the candles would sit like so on this flat surface. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Anyways, you get the point. And then that was bolted in, though. Mind you, it's bolted in. I can't remove this, okay? So the point is the heat of a tea light candle is actually really hot. If you ever put your hand over a couple of them, it's really warm. How do you capture that heat? Inside of 2 clay pots. This pot heats up inside, and then the heat from that pot, it creates a thermal radiator anyways, and then the heat will radiate outwards. You can feel the heat when I light it. You can feel the heat up to about here with your hand. You can really feel it. It's too hot to touch. You can't touch the spike. You can't touch any of this. It's so hot. Candles smoke a little bit sometimes. So I had too big of flames, and I learned that if you cut the wick down, it won't have such big flames, and then maybe it won't smoke as much. So I'm sitting here. I have this thing set right here on the floor in the back while I'm sitting here reading comic books. And I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I smell a little bit of smoke. And I'm like, oh, that's normal. These candles smoke a little bit. And a few minutes later goes by. I'm like, oh, no, it really smells like smoke. And I look back, and there's a fucking flame, like this flame coming from everywhere. I'm like, oh, shit. So I jump in the back. I pick this thing up with my fucking hands. It's so hot, it burns. At least this has threads, so the threads are like a heat sink and kind of pull and distribute the heat a little better than just grabbing something like that. So I was like, but I can take it. It hurts, but I can take it. And I go like this, and I go, and I blow. The fucking wax had liquefied, and the wax itself was on fire on like 3 of these things. And so when I blew it, all the fucking burning wax just went all up inside. It went all up inside the thermal pot. It went all over this. Now that wax is on fire. And now there's flames coming out, and I'm like, and all my wind cannot blow out the flame. It's just making it worse. I'm in a parking lot that I park at all the time. I don't want the entire world to see me like fucking jump out with a big flaming torch, basically, because I like to keep my anonymity around these places that I park. And so the flames are going, my hands are burning. I finally grab like a piece of fabric to hang onto this thing, and now I'm trying to like hold this like this. As it's burning, flames are shooting into my face. I'm still trying to blow it out. Like, mind you, it's not this far apart. It's more like they were really close together like that. So you couldn't reach in and grab these or nothing. I'm trying to unscrew this thing while it's on fire. I grabbed like a piece of fabric, like a sarong or something. And I was using that in one hand, and then the sarong caught on fire. Woof! And I'm like, oh, fuck, the sarong. Put that out, try and find another piece of fabric. Everything I grab is just catching on fire in this van. The whole room is filling up with smoke. Finally, I get the screws off the bottom of that, throw this fucking thing, whoosh, and now I'm like blowing. Whoo, 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 whoo. I can't breathe in because the whole fucking room is smoke. So I'm not getting good lungfuls to blow out this. I don't want to open the windows and the door because it's going to definitely send up a giant smoke signal and look like some shit's on fire. I don't want anyone to call the fire department. There's a lady parked 4 spaces over, standing outside of her car, having a cigarette, watching the whole thing. Oh, that's interesting. I'm just like, oh my God, please, lady, please don't call the fucking fire trucks or anything like that, please. And I'm sitting in here, I blow it. Finally, get the candles extinguished. The smoke, though, like I said, the smoke filled up the room. I can't see this far in front of me. I'm bumping in. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I opened one of the little vent windows in the back, and the smoke just immediately started slowly like pouring out. And I'm in here with like more sarongs and fabric, and I'm like trying to blow it slowly out, trying to like cover up, not breathe this whatever the fucking toxic flammable wax they put in these stupid things is. Anyways, the dumbest thing about this is that it wasn't even cold out. I didn't even need to light it. I was just like sitting here like, oh, I never lit that thing. I lit it once like to test it. I'm like, I'm gonna light that again. It wasn't even really cold out. I just wanted to, I don't know, just light it because I have it basically, and I didn't even need it that day. That's the shittiest thing. But what do I do in the future if I want to continue to use something like this? So I was thinking like, okay, well maybe I'll turn it over this way so there's more of like a little bowl instead of that being the bottom. But the point is that as long as this spike is going through, it's going to have the bolts and the washers holding it steady. And the higher up I lift this thing, we're losing heat out the side, so it's kind of taking away the whole point of it. So I can't use that as a bottom. What I've done, which was the original design that I ever saw of this thing back in 2012 when I first heard about these, is to use a bread pan, man. And it's so simple because you've got your candles down inside the bread pan, and then I just still have the spike. I haven't taken it out, but it fits. And then that will just sit just like so. And now exactly the same thing will happen. The heat will get trapped up in here and then radiate outwards. So I had this one lit with absolutely no problems. Doesn't smoke. None of the wax is caught on fire. I think that something about the way this was designed, it was keeping it too close. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I also have these little screen bits that I attach to the side, just in case anything ever fell down in. I keep these little screen mesh pieces. I wrap them around the side here, just to stop any debris from falling in, a blanket, anything, you never know what could happen. So, that is the story of Jay getting smoked out in the van, and not in the good smoked out way. Whew, man, what a fucking adventure that was. Okay, so I got 2 more comic books to read, and then we're kind of running out, man. I think I've read every graphic novel that the library has to offer that I'm interested in. They got tons of weird shit I don't like, but yeah. I'm now into Batman is getting married to Catwoman. Exciting, I know. Oh man, you know what I feel like with these comics? I mean, when I was a kid, like the artwork was like aimed at kids like my age, and as I grew, the artwork grew with us, got more complicated, more detailed, less cartoony, more realistic. I mean, some of this shit is like, it's just really crazy looking art. Like, look at Robin, or Nightwing now, I guess. Yeah, and so the content definitely grew. When I picked this up, and I'm like, this is not for a kid. This is for an adult my age who understands these adult concepts. But I mean, I think it's really cool that kids are getting into this kind of shit and being subjected to the adult content instead of the bullshit little kid winky winky content that we got subjected to. Like, let me just pull a magic, oh, good thing I packed my shark spray in my bat belt. Like, dumb shit like that has been written out of the story. And now they're just into like psychological, yeah. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I love comics, man. I love comics. Anywho, drop me your favorite comics in the comment, and I'll talk to y'all later. Gotta go. Peace, love, and light. Namaste. All that other good news. Every couple day update. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. Every couple day update. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo.